Hello everyone, I'm Fun Figure Reviews, and I'm back at you guys with another figure review. And today we're here with the Mafex / Medicom Toys Venom from The Amazing Spider-Man, also known as Mafex 088. Here he is in all his Venomy glory. And as you can see, he comes with a buttload of accessories. I mean, like, look at this. He has all the hands you could possibly want for, well, classic Venom figure, right? A classic Venom figure. All the web accessories, which look really, really cool. Right, like this figure looks awesome in the alternate head sculpts. But before we get to that, let's take a quick look at the figure and the packaging real quick, and we'll move on to accessories. So let's look at the figure. And here it is, and it looks great. I don't know if you guys can tell, probably not as I'm looking at the camera, but it's like little blue highlights or like accents to the black, and it looks super nice. It almost makes the figure feel like there's an actual symbiote kind of moving around. Like everywhere you turn it, the blue highlights kind of like, it looks like they move around to a degree. I don't know, but it looks really, really cool and very, very awesome. I mean, like, this looks awesome. I don't know if you guys can tell. Tell me in the comments down below if you can, but yeah, I can't really pick it up on the camera, it looks like. Right, and now for the box, let's put him over here. Right, look at that. Let's zoom in. This thing looks great. We got the Venom Mafex Medicom Toys. Nice product shot of Venom. New York in the background. Venom right there. Mafex 88. Product shot. Venom. Nice product shots in the back as well. Very, 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 very nice. And that's it for the packaging. Now let's move on to the rest of the figure and what it comes with. Now it comes with quite a bit. So let's go from here to here. So first up we have like his grabbing webs. These are the webs you would use to grab, right? So like if you want to have him grabbing to pull him down to make it look like he's web swinging, you know. Now these are two different ones because like this one is longer and this one is shorter than the other one, which is interesting, but it's still pretty cool. And they're very nicely detailed and painted in a very nice white, or molded in this white. I don't really know for sure, but it looks great either way. I'm going to be honest. It looks great either way. His next two accessories are these other web pieces, but they're for his web shooters. So basically, you port these onto the hands through here, right? You take off the wrist peg, put this through the peg, and then port the hand on. And you kind of just straighten this out, and you can have him shooting webs. You'll see what I mean in the posing portion, but here it is. You know, one of the ones that's working for some reason. You do kind of have to heat this up and get it back into position. But yeah. It looks pretty great overall. I like how they have swirling webs like the McFarlane style. Looks very, very nice. He comes with two alternate head sculpts, right? First one up is the Eddie Brock head sculpt with like the symbiote tendrils coming up his neck, which looks really, really great. That's a pretty good rendition of Eddie Brock, I'm going to be honest. I don't really notice anything wrong with it. I like the blue eyes. They don't look to be pointing different ways, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, this looks great. This looks really good. Blonde hair. Yep. This looks awesome. Right. His next head sculpt is this one. Right. I'm not sure which one was on the figure when I initially opened it, but well, I already showed you that head sculpt, so which can count this as the second one. But yeah, here he is. Like you can see a little like room for his little ears in there, which is great. I like the smile. One thing I always liked about the classic Venom is how he didn't have a nose, so it added more to that alien aspect of the character, which really helped make him more kind of menacing, in my opinion. But yeah, this head also has like that weird kind of like light tinge of blue added to it, which almost looks like it's moving around the head, like whenever I'm turning it, but it's still black where it needs to be, and I really like that because it really adds some form of like realism to the figure, which I really like. Now let's get on to his hand accessories, and first up we have his claw hands, or like his crawling hands. You know, they're kind of more spread out, but like, you know, kind of in a claw-like position, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You have the white stripe on the back. So yeah, you go. Next one up, we got his like kind of grabbing slash holding hands, right? Just look really good. His next hands are more like these are also grabbing slash holding hands, but like they look like they're going to be more of a tighter grip or fit. So yeah, that's pretty cool too. Next one up, we have his magnetic feet. All right, which is pretty cool. Standard with every Mafex Spider-Man, right? Even comes with the Carnage. So that's standard, right? You kind of expect that from Mafex by now. Here is also his Mafex crawling magnetic hands, so that's really cool. Look exactly like the other one, they just have a magnet at the end, so yeah. There's that for you guys. And next thing up is his fisted hands, which look great. Which look really good. Yeah. And that is it for his accessories. Now let's compare the figures to other figures in the Mafex line that he might compare well to. So first up we have the No Way Home Spider-Man, right? The upgraded suit, if he wants to stand. And we got Wolverine over here. And they're looking pretty good together. For some reason they're facing weirdly. There we go. There we go. Right? They're looking pretty good together. I really like how they look next to each other. I really do feel like he is proportional for these two to be in size, right? But I don't know for Wolverine. I do think Wolverine is shorter, so I don't know why Mafex didn't make their Venom more in scale, to be honest. But it is what it is, and honestly, it's still a good figure. But definitely not going to pair up too well with your comic book figures from Mafex, because like the scale is just really off. If they had made him maybe about that tall, it would have been more in scale, right? For our next comparison, we got our Marvel Legends. We got our Marvel Legends Venom over here, from the Sony movie. You know what, let me add another Marvel Legends Venom. But this is the Venom I covered in my last video. Right? Yeah. Needless to say, yeah. Not gonna fit at all with your Marvel Legends. Even Black Widow is kind of taller than him. And definitely not with that Venom. Like, Jesus. Wait. He's basically the size of his thigh. That's insane. That's funny. That's very funny. I don't know why, but that's very, very funny. And for our last comparisons, we got Final Swing and Harley Quinn from SH Figure Arts. And there they are. And he looks pretty good. I'm going to be honest. I do think he fits pretty well. Especially considering SH Figure Arts tend to be smaller in scale. So I do feel like he would fit in very nicely with your SH Figure Arts. But, you know, compared to his own line of figures, I don't think he fits too well. And it's simply because he's not tall enough, right? Like, he has the bulkiness. He has proportions. He's just, in terms of size, like in terms of how tall he is, he's nowhere near tall enough. But when you pair him next to this Final Swing, he looks decently in scale. Like, not completely, but decent enough, right? Like he would look imposing to him, right? So, yeah. But like I said, as you can see, he probably won't fit too well with your Mafex comic line, and that's kind of sad because he is a Mafex comic figure, right? Like, he's a comic book rendition of the classic Todd McFarlane Venom. But unfortunately, like, he doesn't fit in well with the other comic book figures from Mafex. Like, especially when I compare him to the Wolverine, who's supposed to be shorter than him. Like, Wolverine, I'm pretty sure in comics is like, what, 5'1", 5'3", right? Venom is supposed to be way taller than that. And like, or in general, Eddie Brock is way taller than that, you know? And, you know, it just ruins the scale for me. Now, of course, you can fudge it by having Wolverine crouch, but like, you know, you shouldn't have to do that. Your figures, if you're collecting them in a line, should always be in scale, you know, to have accurate representation. But that's aside the point. I can save that for the final review portion of the video. Now let's get on to articulation, which I have been very, very well surprised at. Right? It's just very interesting. And good interesting, not bad. Very, very good. So he can move his head up about that much, down about this much without using the neck joint, because I don't want to use the neck joint, right? So about up that much, down that much, and then with the neck joint down, up, right? Because of the neck joint, he also gets immense side to side, so, you know, the head can feel very natural on the body. Very, very natural. His arms can go up. They are unimpeded, so they can go all the way around. Butterfly joints work very, very well, all right? Can get him to cross his arms. So let's see. Yeah, you can get him to cross his arms, which is very, very good. All right. So working butterflies. Torso joint works pretty well. Has a bit of a crutch, but it's very tight, and I don't want to scrape any paint off. I will most likely, after this video, spray this with either a matte finish, acrylic clear coat, or something else, or a gloss coat, right? Like, I will most likely spray it with something to keep it protected. But yeah, and then with the torso joint, it can also bend down about that much, right? And back about that much. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. He can also bend forward about that much and back about that much with the waist joint, and you get side to side swivel, which I really like. Now, if you combine both, it has for increased range of mobility, which is always a good thing. Yeah. So pretty good crutch, ab crutch and waist crutch. Side to side, he got it all. Like, with just the waist alone, then when you combine the ab area, like right here, it's just insane. Right. So pretty good. Very, very well articulated so far. Drop down hips, so he can kick up about this much. Not really back too much, as you can see. He can knee about that much. Ankle rockers. Yeah, ankle rockers right there. Toe joint. His foot can go up and down pretty well. Thigh swivel. His arms have a bicep joint. Double jointed elbows. Standard wrist peg from Mafex. Basically a universal joint. Like, he can go every which way with this, right? So you get unlimited movement in the wrist, so that's pretty good. But yeah, and of course the diaper piece does kind of hinder his crouching a little bit, but that's fine. You know, you come to expect that with Mafex by now. If you're getting their figures, you just come to expect that. You know. But yeah, that's it for his articulation. Let's try to push that joint up a little bit more. There we go. And now let's move on to the posing portion right now. Hello everyone, welcome to the final review portion of this video. Now before I give you guys my final review, I have brought in another comic style figure from Mafex, which is the recent Spider-Man 2099. Now, the reason I did this is so no one in the comics says I didn't compare him to a Spider-Man figure from Mafex that was, a comic figure. I want you guys to know that I've compared him with the 185 in his video, and they are literally the exact same height. There is not a single difference in terms of their height at all. They are the same height. And not only are they the same height, right? They have the same build, right? So I don't want to hear none of that in the comment section at all, right? Not a single word. I want you guys to look at this. Venom is a little bit taller, but not as tall as she should be. Venom should be about this tall, right? Spider-Man should not be head height, right? Or like back of the head height. He should be about neck to Adam's apple height, right? Or a little bit bigger Venom should be, right? But like this, like it looks underwhelming. If they were actually going up against each other and they were in this height, I guarantee you Venom would not look that imposing. And Venom is supposed to be like very, very imposing, right? So they are not in scale at all. And like I said, for more proof, Venom is supposed to be way taller than 5'3" or 5'1". Wolverine is about 5'3" to 5'1". I don't know exactly, but I know he's in the 5-inch range, right? In like comics. Venom is like Wolverine's head is about neck height, it looks like. He should not be neck height. He should be like to Venom's torso, like lower pec or below, right? That's where Wolverine should be. But he's not, right? Now, I do think Wolverine is in scale with this, right? With Peter or with Miguel. I do think they're maybe a little bit more in skill. This, like, Wolverine should definitely be shorter. I do think they should have done better with the Wolverine, but like, it's still a good figure regardless, right? But I just thought I should point that out, that they are not in height. Like, they are not in scale when it comes to height. Now, let me tell you all the positives. Paint job, immaculate. Perfect shading, the little blue tints here and there. I mean, it makes the figure feel alive. It really gives you that kind of alien feeling whenever you're playing with it. Like it feels like you're holding it like an extraterrestrial, because everywhere you look, it looks like that blue is like constantly moving, and it kind of makes you feel like you're playing with the symbiote, with the actual Venom symbiote, right? The articulation is just amazing, like super good. It's really great. Mafex kills it with their articulation. The paint, like I said, is just supreme, immaculate. Sculpt is just insane, right? Like in general, you can't mess up a big guy with a spider symbol and they're all black and white. Like that'd be pretty hard to screw up. But like Mafex really knocked it out of the box with this figure. And I would like to preface that this figure is amazing. Right now, this is a re-release, right? This is the re-release version of this figure. So it's not like the original release, but from what I know, this release and the original have virtually no differences. They are basically the exact same figure as far as I've seen. So if there are any people in the comments who have both this re-release and the original, I would like to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. But for this re-release of the 088 Mafex figure, I do think it is worth the pickup, and I think it is an 8 out of 10 at a rating of 10, right? So 8 out of 10. This figure is great. There are some issues I have with it, like the height, right, which really bother me enough to take off 2 points, unfortunately. But other than that, this figure is amazing. It comes with a perfect amount of accessories. It's at a great price currently on Amazon. If you decide to pick it up, you can get it for a great price. I could not recommend this figure enough. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please smash that like button and hit that subscribe button and keep the notifications on for every time you see a video of mine pop up. Anyway, have a great rest of you guys' day. See you guys later. Bye.